Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Manchester United are looking to make a swoop for Adama Traore in January. Now, Calcio Mercato, if I pronounced that correctly, have said that Wolves want around £90 million for Adama Traore. Now, Adama Traore has been at Wolves for a few years. He has got a contract with Wolves until 2023. Wolves paid around £18 million for him from Middlesbrough. He's also a former Aston Villa player and he's a former Barcelona player. He began his senior career with Barcelona. He is the age of 24. He can play as a winger and a wing-back. I think we inquired about getting him in the summer transfer window. I think Liverpool were interested. Also, Manchester City have been interested. Now, was it last year in October? Adama Traore scored twice against Manchester City on his 50th competitive appearance. Wolves did beat Man City by 2-0. And Man United do obviously need a winner. Adama Traore, though, is well proven in the Premier League. His defensive distribution's also very, very good. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, Manchester United face missing out on Mauricio Pochettinho if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is sacked. Main explanation is because Pochettinho has been in talks with Zenit St. Petersburg. Pochettinho has been the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. Don't forget, Mauricio Pochettinho was linked with a managerial role at Man United, before Solskjaer got the job permanently in March last year. There's obviously been narratives of Pochettinho possibly going to Man City. Real Madrid have also been in for him before. Pochettinho has been managerless now for like a year. He was sacked from Tottenham last year. I think Tottenham made a mistake by getting rid of him. Pochettinho did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure with Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. But last year, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. He's managed 3 clubs so far in his managerial career. Before he was at Tottenham, he managed Southampton, endured a short tenure with Southampton. He did guide Southampton, though, to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era, and before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. Now, I like Pochettinho a lot, like I've mentioned before. He's well proven in the Premier League. He's dealt with top players. My only element of concern about him, he hasn't won anything in terms of silverware. It also mentioned a few weeks ago that we was looking at Massimiliano Allegri as an alternative to Pochettinho. Do you think Julian Nagelsmann, the RB Leipzig manager, would be perfect for Manchester United? Julian Nagelsmann is a young coach, like Ollie was recently saying. He's done well with Leipzig since he took over. Leipzig have had a very, very good start to this season. They've won 4 of their opening 5 games in the Bundesliga and they're sitting top. Last season, they got to the Champions League semi-final. Last season, they also finished 3rd. RB Leipzig is a second club in his managerial career because before he was at Leipzig, he was at 1899 Hoffenheim. During his playing career, he played for 1860 Munich and he also played for Augsburg. But I think he's regarded as one of the best young coaches in the world, Julian Nagelsmann. So yeah, I think Ollie will end up getting sacked as Manchester United manager. I hope he doesn't, obviously, because I love him a lot and he's a club legend and he was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, but just don't think he's good enough to succeed as a manager because Ollie hasn't got that proven pedigree. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Reflecting how long he's been at the football club though, he has gained managerial experience. Ollie has been at the football club now for almost 2 years. And he has got a contract with us until 2022. Very, very sceptical that he will see out his contract. To be honest with you, I can't see Solskjaer being Man United manager in January. We did appoint him in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and Ollie's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. So far this season, we've played 5 games in the league. We have won 2, lost 2 and drawn 1. We haven't won any of our 3 opening home league games, and that's the first time since the 1972-1973 campaign. So yeah, it's our worst start at Old Trafford for like 50 years. We are sitting 15th in the Premier League, so we are near the relegation zone. To be fair though, we are unbeaten in our last 3 games. We recently drew with Chelsea 0-0. Arguably should have won that game. We had a very, very good result against PSG, beating them by 2-1. And we also beaten Newcastle by 4-1. Away from home, we've done very, very well. I don't think we've lost any away game in any competition since January. You know what I mean? I think Solskjaer's managed 100 games or nearly 100 games as Manchester United manager. He's won over 50 games as Manchester United manager, hasn't he? I've said all his decision making has got to improve because his decision making at Man United's been very poor for the vast majority of the time. In a lot of his games, he has been tactically naive, but there again, there's some games where he has showed tactical flexibility, in a lot of the big games. Now, I think Manchester United's best formation is the 3-5-2 formation because that seems to suit our standards. I think the 4-2-3-1 formation doesn't suit our standards, and Ollie's gone a lot with that formation since he got appointed in as Man United manager. A few times he's gone with a 4-3-3 formation. You know what I mean? But not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer, does it? Obviously, in the summer transfer window, Solskjaer wasn't backed enough because we missed out on all of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets in the summer transfer window. And we missed out on a lot of targets in general. The board are to blame for the lack of transfer activity. You know, we've been critical of the board anyway for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. I think all the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired have not been backed enough. And I said Solskjaer does deserve more backing. Next year, we'll be looking to make a couple of more signings. Manchester United definitely need a centre-half. I think also next year we'll be looking to offload more players because there's still deadwood in the squad. I think we'll be looking to get rid of Lingard, Jones, Rojo, Romero. I think Romero wants his contract terminated. I think we could loan Daniel James out next year. Brandon Williams, he could also be loaned out because he's going to find game time hard now following the arrival of Alex Telles. Matic, he could be sold next year because he's lost his place in the team. Pogba, I think United fans are expecting him to leave next summer. Good chance he could leave next summer. Vitz Lindelof, do you think we should sell him? You know, Juan Mata, he could be possibly sold next year as well. You know what I mean? And yesterday on one of my videos, I give you the news on Daya Upamecano. It says our board have made a decision. We are going to make a move for Upamecano next summer. He's available for around £38 million next year. Obviously, he signed a new deal with RB Leipzig until 2023 to remove his £45 million release clause that he did have. You know, he's a good player though, Daya Upamecano. I'd definitely take him at Manchester United. I really, really would. Like I said to you, Ole is in his second season as Manchester United manager, isn't he? And I said, didn't I, at the start of this season, this was going to be a big season for Ole. I said, you know, he's got to exceed his expectations. I said, he's got to guide us to a top 4 finish, top 2 or top 3 if necessary, and get us qualification for the Champions League. This is what I said. And I also mentioned that players have got to step up to the plate because obviously the start of the season that players were underperforming. But to be fair, the players that were underperforming, you know, in the recent games, you know, they have rejuvenated themselves. But if the club do sack Ole, it'll cost us around £4 million. That's totally contrast, though, to the £18 million that were paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Don't forget, we've already sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. So Ole is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. Now, I have taken positives from Solskjaer's tenure. I credit him for what he did last season because last season Solskjaer got us qualification for the Champions League. He also got us 3rd and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And at the first part of last season, don't forget, we endured our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And I've said now Solskjaer's in the exact same position as he was in at the first part of last season. Solskjaer's also made some good signings since he got appointed in as Man United manager. He's endured 4 transfer windows and spent over £200 million. Obviously, in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Igalo in. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Ahmad Traore, who'll be joining in January, and also brought Facundo Pellistri in. We've also seen a lot of players depart the club since Ole came in. I also like the way he has promoted the youth. And our record against the top 6 sides has been impressive since he got appointed in as Man United manager. So there you go. But in the last 7 years, Manchester United have been playing catch-up, you know, because we've obviously had different managers with different philosophies. Like I've said, you know, we've spent nearly £1 billion on players. We've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Ferguson era. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it for over 7 years. We've only won 4 trophies since Fergie left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal, the Europa League, the League Cup, and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, Ole is inheriting a lot of players from the Mourinho era. Still a couple of players from the Van Gaal era. Still 1 player from the Moyes era. And I think there's only around 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. I said it'd be also very beneficial if Manchester United could get a director of footballing. I think that's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. If we are to get a director of footballing, we need someone who knows the club inside out and someone who's got that experience. There's quite a few former Manchester United players linked with that director's role before. We've recently been interested in hiring Luis Campos. He's the Lille director. But we've been in the process of trying to get a director of footballing since like the Jose Mourinho era, haven't we? Big game tonight for Manchester United. We go up against RB Leipzig at Old Trafford. It is an 8 o'clock kickoff. I recently give you my preview for the game. I give you my starting 11 prediction. And I recently give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, didn't I? The game tonight is our second game in the group stage. If we beat Leipzig tonight, it will be back-to-back wins for Manchester United in the Champions League. But this will be a difficult one. Leipzig did win their first game in the group against Istanbul Başakşehir by 2-0. This game tonight is going to be the first ever meeting between Manchester United and Leipzig. Now, as you all know, Ollie was recently talking about Donny van de Beek. He was obviously mentioned in the press conference. And Solskjaer says Donny van de Beek will be an important player and he will play a big part this year. He said it's nice for some players and commentators to have a little go. But yeah, Solskjaer's responded to the criticism over the use of Donny van de Beek because Gary Neville and Patrice Evra have criticised him, obviously. Solskjaer has actually explained why he hasn't been obviously playing Donny van de Beek, because obviously he wants him to adapt. And I think he's trying to find the best position for him because, like I've said before, Donny van de Beek can play in like 3 different roles, but his predominant position is box-to-box. I'd like to see him start the game tonight. I don't think he's going to start the game. I'd be surprised if he did start the game, but I'd be happy. Donny van de Beek has not yet made his full debut for the football club, has he? Solskjaer's going to make changes tonight, obviously, from the 0-0 draw with Chelsea. Of course he will. Do you think Alex Telles will start tonight? I'd like to see Alex Telles start tonight, to be honest with you. Telles didn't play any part in the game against Chelsea, so he didn't make his Premier League debut, but he was very impressive on his debut against PSG with Telles, and I think he's going to be a very good signing for us. There'll be Man United fans wanting Edinson Cavani to start tonight. I think he'll definitely be involved. Even if he doesn't start, I think he'll obviously come on as a substitute. Edinson Cavani came on in the Chelsea game, made his debut, and he was unlucky not to score with his first touch. Anthony Martial, he's obviously not going to be available for tonight. Won't be available for the game at the weekend against Arsenal, though, because obviously he's still suspended. He's only got 1 game now to serve in the league, and his suspension's up. Don't forget Martial got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham, but he shouldn't have been sent off, obviously. Mason Greenwood, he should be probably involved tonight. Mason Greenwood, surprisingly, didn't start the Chelsea game, but he came on late. He missed the last 2 games prior to the Chelsea one, didn't he? Don't forget Solskjaer recently defended Mason Greenwood and blasted our ex-players for criticising him, and he mentioned that the English media were starting to go after him. I think we had a few issues with Mason Greenwood earlier on in the season, didn't we? Paul Pogba, I think there'll be a lot of United fans that want him to start tonight. Paul Pogba hasn't started any of our last 3 games. Obviously, he started on the bench, but he's obviously come on as a substitute. Like I've already said to you, there's a lot of uncertainty regarding Paul Pogba's future at Man United, isn't there? He recently denied that he quit the France national team. And apparently it says he was going to take legal action. Paul Pogba hasn't enjoyed the best of starts to this season. Bruno Fernandes, do you think he'll be involved in the game tonight? Marcus Rashford, do you think he'll start, or do you think Marcus Rashford will get given a rest? And Wan-Bissaka, I think he'll keep his place in the team. Bissaka's done well in our last 3 games. De Gea will remain in goal. He's done well in his last 3 games. So I'm glad that De Gea has rejuvenated himself. I said he will remain our number 1 this season. Axel Tuanzebe, I'd like to see him involved tonight. To be fair, I want him to see him start. He didn't play any part in the Chelsea game, surprisingly. But Tuanzebe did very, very well in the PSG game. That game against PSG was his first start for Man United in 10 months. If Solskjaer goes with a 3-5-2 tonight, I think Luke Shaw will start. Luke Shaw will be at left centre-back and Telles will be at wing-back. Daniel James, he shouldn't start this game tonight. Shouldn't have even started against Chelsea. Juan Mata won't start, I don't think. Matic, I don't think he'll start because, like I've said, he's now lost his place in the team. Lindelof, I don't want to see him start either. He's rejuvenated himself recently, but he's obviously not a world-class centre-half. I think Harry Maguire will also start the game tonight. He will. So there you go. Like I said, big game on Sunday against Arsenal at Old Trafford. We're still looking for our first home win of the season. Arsenal will be difficult. You know, Arsenal have played 6 games so far this season in the league. You know, they've won 3 and they've lost 3. Arsenal made some good signings in the summer transfer window, didn't they? You know, they obviously brought Thomas Partey in, they brought Willian in on a free, and they brought Gabriel Magalhaes in. Arteta's also made other signings as well. He obviously brought Pablo Mari in and Cedric Soares. Obviously, when Unai Emery was their manager, he obviously made some signings. You know, he brought Kieran Tierney in, David Luiz, William Saliba, Dani Ceballos and Nicolas Pepe. I still think Arsenal got a couple of players there from the Arsene Wenger era. Arsenal, to be fair, do look a better team under Mikel Arteta, don't they? It is our fall, by the way, on Sunday. Arsenal's record at Old Trafford is very, very bad. You know, they haven't beaten us at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006, is it? Obviously, the game at Old Trafford last season was 1-1. We actually lost the game at the Emirates by 2-0. You know, but Arsenal have got good players in their team. You know, they've got the likes of Aubameyang, who I think is probably their best player. You know, they've got Lacazette. They've got Ozil, who's obviously still there, but Ozil is aging up. You know, they've got Guendouzi, they've got Granit Xhaka. So, yeah, they have got good players. I think Arsenal have had injuries recently. They've obviously got Rob Holding out. I think he's still out. They've got Callum Chambers out. They've got David Luiz out. And they've got Pablo Mari out. And I think Gabriel Martinelli's also out for Arsenal. You know. So really, really am looking forward to that game. After Arsenal, it's Istanbul Başakşehir. That's our other opponent in our group stage. Then and after that, it's Everton. So games are coming up thick and fast for Manchester United. Now, obviously, if we don't win tonight, then I think Solskjaer will be under more pressure. I really, really do. But like I've said to you, I think we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been so inconsistent. You can say we made a mistake giving Ollie the job permanently. We give him the job permanently, though, reflects on what I did in that 3-month period when he was interim manager. There's players we've given contracts to who we shouldn't have given contracts to. But there again, there's some players we've given contracts to who deserve new contracts at Man United. Some United fans think we made a mistake by getting rid of Mourinho. Personally, I think we recommended Mourinho in too late. We should have recommended Mourinho in when Ferguson retired. I think a lot of the players we've brought in the last 7 years haven't been the right calibre players for Man United. I think we did make a bad mistake by getting rid of Ander Herrera and Romelu Lukaku, because they were two very, very good players for us, weren't they? Like I said, we've got a couple of injuries now, haven't we? We've obviously got Eric Bailly out. He's out for 3 to 4 weeks with a muscle injury, like Solskjaer recently confirmed. Too injury prone, Eric Bailly. I think Jones is still out. Obviously, he was excluded from the Champions League squad anyway. And I think, is that about it? Rojo, he's not part of the Champions League squad. Romero, he's not also part of the Champions League squad, is he? So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.